We are on module 3. These little 10 minutes modules are good. Hopefully you're doing well with the pre-work. Now we're on module 3. This is all about how to find the right audience for you. You'll learn how to be a great podcast guest and identify your strengths. And in the second module, you set your goals. Now, how do you find those conferences with your customers in the crowd? How do you find the podcast your customers are listening to? Let's dive in. Appearing before the right audience, it's crucial. It's arguably the most important aspect. You need to have a well-defined target audience before you start seeking out stages or podcasts. Who are you talking to? Create a persona for the individual who best matches what you have to offer. Who has the problem you can solve? For example, pitch to be partners with groups that works with speakers because we believe we have a solution for speakers looking for gigs and podcasts to go on. You see, we picked a target audience who could benefit out of our expertise. Make an individual profile be specific as your ideal audience. Others don't exactly fit this profile, still gravitates toward your message. But knowing who you are exactly targeting allows you to have a better identity where to find them. Define their demographics, attitudes, behaviors, and their psychographics. Look at your own community. Who interacts with your social media posts? Who subscribes to your newsletter? These are indicators of the kind of people interested in what you're saying. You can also directly ask your audience about their preferences through surveys. Remember, not everyone in your target market might engage in the same way. If you're targeting seniors, for instance, they might not listen to a podcast, but they might attend to a local conferences or an AARP event. So for podcasts, remember a lot of people listen on the go. They might not be taking notes, so make sure your information is memorable and you offer strong call to actions. Also, make sure that your social media handles are easy to remember and people understand how they can improve their situation from your content. Tailor your content to match how your audience engaged with it. If they're at a conference with a notebook, that's great. But if they're on a podcast without one, tell them where they can download the notes to follow along. You need to create a detailed profile for your ideal listener. The more detail, the easier it will be to find them. The next step is actually finding these stages. We've defined who we've been looking for, and now we need to figure out where they're hanging out. That's why we need to tackle in step number 4, it's how to find the right podcast and stages. All right, do the work, write it down, create that profile, and I'll catch you up later in the next module.